All right, y'all, here we go. Come on, get fired up from the inside out. Welcome to another episode of FTIO. Today we are gonna do a reality check, y'all. Yep, we're gonna do a reality check. Here we are in February into the new year. I know people had all these different goals. They had all these different plans, and they were doing all these different things to take care of their health, their finances, their education, their relationships. But I'm here to tell you that being busy is not the same as being productive. Yes, being busy is not the same as being productive, right? So I see everybody with all these different plans, you know, all these different things they're gonna do differently. All of their routines are changing. That's great. That's great. But I gotta ask the question every time, are you being productive or are you just being busy? Now, some of you might be thinking, well, Rod, what's the difference? Well, I'm gonna tell you right now. The difference is this, all right? Productive, key word is produce. Right? Productive, keyword is produce. So if you are being productive, what are you producing? You're producing something out of that, right? So when I think about people being busy, for example, I hear this one all the time. They're like, yo, Rod, I'm busy. I got school. I got all this stuff I got to do for school. I got to do homework. I got to study. I got a study group. You know, I have to get to class, and I get it. It's fine. All good and great. I'm not even hating on that. But when you tell me that you're busy with school, but then your grades come back and you're not producing the grades, number one, that are passing, number two, that are barely passing, right? Then it tells me, well, what are you really doing with your time? You're just being busy, right? If you're just being busy and you're not being productive, that tells me you got to readjust, you got to refocus, right? And I also think about people who are like trying to hit their health goals, okay? They're meal prepping. They're going to the gym, they're doing this, they're doing that. They got different routines, they got different, weight loss programs, different diets. I'm not knocking that at all. But the question I always ask myself, and even to my friends, I'm like, well, what are you producing? What have you produced with that program, with that routine, with all the stuff that's keeping you busy, right? So if you're saying, I'm busy with this, I'm busy with that, my question is gonna be, what have you produced? Now, for myself, for example, and I'm guilty of that, right? I always just say, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta be here, I gotta be there, and sometimes busyness even leads to me making excuses. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But let me use an example, FTIO, from the inside out, right? I've been talking about this YouTube series for a long time. I've been telling my friends, like, hey, one day I'm gonna start a YouTube series, and it's gonna be, motivation, it's gonna be me, I'm gonna share my spirit, I'm gonna share, everything that I'm learning, I'm just gonna keep it real with everyone, right? And so I talked about it for a long time, but nothing ever happened. I was too busy talking that I didn't do enough walking, right? So then I said, all right, so now I started talking about it, and then I started writing the ideas down, right? I took it to the next step. I said, I took my ideas, wrote it down. What does FTIO look like? When do I want to put the videos out? What is it going to be all about? And then I started writing it down. And as I was writing it down, I came up with this. I said, there's three things that I want to be most clear about, or, that are my goals when it comes to FTIO. Number one, I want the content to be quality, right? I want the content to come from my heart. I want to pray, I'm definitely going to pray on it. I want it to come from my brain and my heart, and I want to provide good content. Number two, clarity. When I'm talking about clarity, not just in the way I deliver the content, but also in like the audio, right? I wanted to be some clean, clear audio. And then the last thing I wanted to do for this for these episodes is just to be consistent, right? Those are the three main things that I'm focusing on. I'm worrying about consistently putting videos out, consistently setting up the time where I'm going to shoot the videos, record the videos, edit the videos. Now, don't get me wrong, my editing is basic, right? It's basic, it's simple. I'm not really too focused on that right now, though. To me, that's not my focus, right? Eventually down the road, the video content, or the video editing and all that, cool, fancy stuff is going to come. But right now, the content, the clarity, and the consistency are the main things that I'm focusing on, right? So I'm asking myself, I'm writing it down, I'm thinking about all these ideas, but what am I producing? Right? What am I producing? So I got to check myself and give myself a reality check of what I'm actually producing with all of these ideas, with all this talk, with all this busy work. So if you find yourself being busy, right, or you find yourself doing a lot, which I'm not knocking that, right? Because I'm talking about grind, beast mode, do what you got to do. Take a step back, do a reality check, and ask yourself, what have I produced? Am I producing the results that all of this work I'm putting in is meant to do. Like, so if I'm putting in all this work, am I producing the desired results, or is just busy work? Right? Think about like back in the days in school where sometimes, teachers would give you busy work, and just to do that, just to keep you busy. You weren't really producing anything necessarily, but you were just staying busy. So with whatever you're doing, whatever you're involved in, right? Doesn't matter what department, health, finances, education, relationship-wise, whatever it is, and you find yourself not having enough time in the day or being really busy, right? Understand that being busy is not the same thing as being productive, all right? Because if you're being productive, then you're producing something. And what you're producing doesn't have to always be perfect. You don't always got to like hit home runs every single time, but you're producing something, right? How many times do we hear people talking about all these great things, right? Talking and sharing great ideas, but never doing anything about it, never producing anything, right? So here's what my invitation to everyone watching this video right now is, as you move through your everyday routine, ask yourself, am I being busy or am I being productive? Right? Am I being busy or am I being productive? It's time to start being productive. It's time to start producing the results or the things that we want with all of the hard work that we're putting in. Why? Because you deserve it. You deserve it, y'all, but it doesn't start until we remember to realize your boy is out of here, man. Remember, be productive, start producing, and your boy is out. Have a great rest of your week, y'all. Peace.
What I love about working with young people